Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I'm Cipher. Welcome back to the Devil's Advocate Debate Club. Tonight, I'll be talking about the subject of universities from the chilly city as opposed to my normal warm forest home. The discussion will be on whether or not college is worth it for you. Now, lots of people should go to college. I've been, briefly, just not long enough to be certifiable, so hopefully my words of wisdom mean something. Anyway, universities make money off of their students based on their student population, so they advertise as if you're never going to make it anywhere without a college education, but that certainly depends on what you want to do in this day and age. See, lots of people make money in the entertainment business without needing any sort of college education or go through apprenticeship programs to do something more physically productive with their life than entertain others, still without any sort of college education. Still others may find that the current status of university campuses, basically on a global scale, just isn't for them. The first step in deciding whether university is for you is to decide what you want to do with your life. I say it like it's simple, but it's something that took me nearly 30 years to have even the slightest idea of. So, I'm not one to judge if you haven't got it figured out at any point in your life. However, going to a college or a university, taking electives, and hoping that you'll find some sort of purpose in life is dangerous for at least two reasons, probably many more. One is that you can be drawn into somebody else's reality. So there are people on universities looking essentially for followers in cults, some in actual cults and some just in things that border them. Some of these people are teachers and some are students, but it's very, very easy to get drawn into an ideology on the far right or far left, depending on your university. A lot of these people are racial supremacists, but not all of them. There are lots of dangerous ideologies out there. So before you get involved with any group, make sure it's what you believe and what you want to do, not just what you've got wrapped up in the moment. The next danger with going to apply for a college before you know what you want to do with yourself is that you might not find purpose going through elective courses. I thought that I would. I figured I'd find something that would stick. I took acting classes, which I enjoyed. I highly suggest improvisational theater. I actually think that I gained more from it than any other single class in my college experience, but nothing ended up sticking, and I ended up leaving my year-and-a-half experience at a community college depressed and much less certain of what I wanted to do with my life than I had been before. I felt that my dreams were impossible of achieving and that nothing I could achieve was worth my time or something I wanted to be doing with myself. So, don't think that, you'll figure it all out when you're there. Don't waste your parents', your own, or anyone else's time, money, or scholarships unless you know why you're going, what classes you'll be taking, and what your end goal is. The next problem with universities, or the next step in deciding whether or not universities are for you, I should say, is getting to know your college campus. Touring college campuses has been a thing since far before I was in high school, and to my knowledge it still is in most places. different college campuses have very different cultures and atmospheres. And while I'm not necessarily one to support safe spaces, it is certainly important to find a place where you and your ideas will be, if not accepted, at least tolerated. More and more people are finding that you can get thrown off college campuses for the silliest of things. One college campus said that you could designate yourself as any gender and use any pronouns you liked, and a student started going as, I think his gender was king with his pronouns, his and your majesty, something along those lines. Anyway, he was kicked off campus, I believe expelled, for making a mockery of the system they'd put into place. Just make sure that wherever you go can handle at least your brand of humor and hopefully your politics. This may be hard for certain people on the right. In the center or the left, you can probably find a place for you fairly easily. Now, universities change fairly rapidly these days. University culture is, of course, dictated to some degree by the new generation, and so don't necessarily expect the university you go to be the one you visited in high school, but do more research before going your senior year or after your senior year, rather than jumping right into college. Find one that's right for you, because going to the wrong university can end your career, as we've seen with many people recently. That being said, going to college is a wonderful way to further oneself if you are lucky enough to have good professors. But if you have good enough self-learning skills these days, basically anything that you can learn in a university is available online. So if you really want to go into a career which requires you to be certified, that you need that degree, you just have to have it to continue in the life that's right for you, that will make you happy, go to college. Get the degree. Take some electives you like and get everything you can out of it. It can be a wonderful experience. If you're going to college to hope that you can find a purpose in life, going to college because you think you have to make something of yourself in the world, or just going to college because it's the thing people do with their money in your family, or no one in your family has gone before and everyone wants you to. Just know that we live in a technological era where it's not the only source of knowledge. It's not the only way that you can learn how to be a critical thinker. And these days, with some programs in universities coming to the point where I personally feel they're brainwashing students into certain ideologies, don't go to college unless you're sure it's for you. Now, a little bit about my time in college. I know anecdotal evidence doesn't mean much, but I feel like sharing a little, and I've still got time on this video. Besides, I owe you guys. It's been a while since my last upload. My internet was down, and once I got to a place with stable Wi-Fi, my phone battery started having issues. Looks like I should be good for the next few days. At a minimum, hopefully I'll get a few videos up. Anyway, though, when I went to college, as I said, I took acting and improvisational theater, and I absolutely loved both of them. However, the theater community at the college I went to was, in my opinion, quite toxic. I couldn't figure out for quite some time what any of their problem was with me. And it turned out that it was because I was a tall member of my, well, sex and race. So, a number of people in the theater community in my area seemed to be quite bigoted towards who I was, and it kept me from being involved in theater, one of the things which had been a passion of mine for quite some time. And I didn't let it faze me. I figured I would find something else I liked in college. I took a couple of creative writing courses, something else which I'd been interested in. I know, nothing that actually contributes to society, right? Who would I be if I did that? But I ended up taking a public speech course, not because I thought I needed much help when it came to public speech. I'd been in several plays when I was younger and had done several speeches in public already, but I thought taking a course to hone my skills and also just to take an elective that was something that appealed to me would be a fun and hopefully productive way to spend my time. The teacher absolutely hated me. I never quite figured out why. I think it might be because at the time I was pretty hardcore atheist as opposed to more atheist agnostic, and she was somewhat religious. I never even found out how religious she was, but she definitely had a Bible in her classroom and seemed to grade religious tone speeches several points higher than non-religious speeches of what I would consider to be the same quality. She also told us that our grade in class would be more determined by our students, or her students, I should say, our classmates' reaction to our speeches than hers. So you got graded by 4 people, 3 classmates and her, each of which determined 25% of your grade. And I failed several speeches, which I found to be quite odd, not necessarily because I never failed anything legitimately in my life, but just compared to the quality of the speeches which I was asked to grade. So I asked the students who had graded me what they'd given me, and lo and behold, near or full marks from all 3. So how is it that I had a failing grade if, even if the teacher had given me a 0%, I would still have a fairly solid C on at least 2 of these occasions? The teacher never gave me a fair answer. I never took things up with an academic board as I maybe should have, because around that time my girlfriend left me and my grandma died, and I ended up going through enough life issues that I didn't feel I could productively learn anything anymore at that time and left college. After which I spent nearly a decade in crisis, bouncing from job to job, making almost no money and barely surviving. So I don't necessarily suggest dropping out for anyone who's managed to go. That's why I'm saying that, unlike me, who thought it was just a necessary part of life in many ways, you should think long and hard before going to college. Research what's going on the campuses that you're interested in. Research as many different campuses as you might be able to get into. Go to community college for the first 2 years to save yourself a bunch of money, and unless you can just afford it. And make sure that it's the right decision for you. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for sticking with me. I know that I've been absent, but my tech issues should be in the past. Now you only have to deal with my limited schedule as a carny runaway, but my schedule should be a little bit better, and I'm going to try and get at least two videos filmed tomorrow to make up for my absence. Anyway, I'll let it go there. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Louis Cipher, your host, and thank you for watching the Devil's Advocates Debate Club.